I think the best example that young women can take is not to be held back by feeling that they have to have structures and organisations in order to take action. Yeah, it's a matter of having I suppose, eyes open enough to see issues and to see potential and to see challenges and to go for it.
My advice to a young person in politics is, if you firmly believe that you want to make a change in society, grab it with both hands and run and really try your best. You'll not get everything right, and certainly in my 10 years I've had so many learning curves and different experiences. But if you want to make a change in the area and the community that you live in and that you work in and that you have grown up in, politics, go for it. And just don't look back, just keep looking forward. And I think whenever I was leaving tech, one of my lecturers said to me, if you aim for the moon and you miss the moon, you're sure to be among the stars. So aim high.
My advice for a young woman who would want to get involved in politics is do it. It's not always a public role. I never in a million years would have thought that I would have ended up in a public role. I always wanted to work in policy behind the scenes. But there's so many different jobs in politics, and each of them are equally as important. And I think for young women in general, despite an increasingly hostile world for women, I think it's really important that you learn that it's okay to love yourself and just to believe in yourself.
The one piece of advice I would give is don't put any barriers up for yourself, because there's already enough there. And that was given to me a few years ago, and I've never forgot it. And I do believe that there are sometimes seemingly unsurmountable amounts of barriers out there to get to where you're going. But never forget that there's many ways to get to the end game.
Yes, I think politics is a very interesting job, extremely exciting. But one thing I would say, have another career first. Even if it was only for 5 years, I do believe you get a more rounded viewpoint when you've actually worked with wider society before going into politics.
Don't put it off and don't be afraid, right? Because, you will get moments when you feel insecure. You will get moments when you're thinking, what on God's earth am I doing? You will have a crisis of confidence in all of these things. But if you can help one person, it makes it all worthwhile. So there's a lot of things about this job that I'm doing that I don't like. There's a lot of things that make me very frustrated and angry. But I keep a wee box of thank you cards or notes that people have written that I've been able to help. And I've had the privilege, and it is a privilege, of being able to help people who are really struggling and just to be there for them. And when you're able to do that, it makes all of the frustrations, all of the insecurities go away. So, and it's a wonderful feeling. It is an absolute buzz. So I would say to people, persevere and do it, because the sense of reward and satisfaction that you get from being able to help people is really wonderful.
Any young woman that wants to be involved in politics, what I would say to them is, don't think of politics as a career, because if you do, you will be the boring shirt person with the tie on that nobody will want to look at. Get life experience. Go out there and be an activist in your community, because that's real politics. Go out there in your community associations or a club with young people in it, your youth club, your church, whatever it may be, whatever floats your boat. Get involved. Be active. Have that civic sense of duty. Go out there and do something that excites you. Politics fits you. You don't fit politics. So you go out and find out what your skills are. Go out there and be the best that you possibly can be. Change something in your community. It might be the tiniest little thing. It could be litter picking on a beach on a Saturday. It could be anything at all, but that could determine your future. And if it's going to be in politics, then it'll fall to politics.
It's the best job ever. It's a great job. It's exciting. It's if you like to engage in changing the world for the better, it's the only place to be.